Hello everyone, welcome to Dominions 4. This is a new, I'd hesitate to call it a let's play. It's I'm going to be trying to figure out how to use Lemuria. Now, thematically, Lemuria is probably my all-time favourite of all of the Dominions nations. The Roman legionaries and their ghosts, and it doesn't really get any better than that, but I have no idea how to actually play them. So I've been playing around a little bit recently. The new patch actually came out this morning, my time, as I'm recording this, which had a whole heap of pretender changes. With the second fall of Ermor, hope finally came to the Scalarian remnants of the ancient empire. The fear of the dead ceased, and undead legions were no longer needed. Instead, the soulless were put to menial labour, but the thaumaturgs turned their attentions elsewhere. The common people became ever more dissatisfied. Some soulless slaves still toiled the land, but with the thaumaturgs less interested in reanimating slaves for the populace, the common men felt abandoned. Demands were made that the thaumaturgs should provide slaves to keep the kingdom going. The conflict escalated, and finally, in an act of remarkable hubris, the thaumaturgs decided to settle the problem once and for all. In a great ceremony, every thaumaturg in the kingdom joined a communion and poured their lower souls into a ritual that would open a gate to the underworld, so that the dead willingly might return to the land of the living as workers and farmers. The ritual succeeded, in a way. The gate opened, but the lower souls of the thaumaturgs were ripped apart and swallowed by the gate. And from the gate emerged not dead servants, but a spectral host of legionnaires and shadows. Now the land is slowly withering and falling under the dominion of a god of darkness. Ghosts and spectral legions reclaim a land once theirs, and the shattered souls of the former thaumaturgs are mustering the shadows and memories of a glorious past. So, this is, yes, the ghosts and shadows do not need supplies, can enter water. Military spectral legionnaires, ghosts, shadows, and hordes of dispossessed spirits, which suck. Just quietly. Death, astral, a little bit of air and water. Powerful immortal priests can call in shadows and spirits, but they cannot preach dominion. The dominion summons ghosts and shadows and kills population. So, I have been... oh, this is a new guy. Came out in the patch, obviously. That's new as well. These are... different points values as well, I believe. I've been playing around with the Ghost King, mainly because it's kind of thematic. The Prince of Death could be thematic, any of these liches could be fine. But I just like a Ghost King in charge of a Ghost Legion. It just seems kind of cool. You probably aren't going to find hints and tips on how to win with Lemuria in this, series, if you're watching. It's, as I mentioned, it's going to be me trying to learn how to use them properly, and with the caveat there of in single player. This is a single player game, obviously, not multiplayer. So anything I do, it may or may not work for multiplayer, and even if it did, it's quite possible you could find a more efficient way of doing it. I like to do a bit of role-playing when I play Dominions 4, and I exclusively play single-player. Multiplayer is just not really for me. That's all there is to it. So, anyway, as far as Pretender goes, you need two things absolute minimum. Must be awake, must have Death 3. That is pretty much irrefutable. You can get away without either of them, but just is such an enormous handicap you've put on yourself that why would you bother? In terms of scales, our Dominion kills anyway, so we might as well put that down to Death 3. Loss of income, not as much of a problem as you might think. We'll see later, at about the same time as we see why we need 3 Death and an Awake Pretender. What I like to play with instead of income as a normal source is 3 luck and 3 turmoil. That tends to give you quite a number of gold gain events, which is always very handy. Sloth I never bother with. It's what does it do? It does reduce your income. So resources don't care about. As far as I can tell, Lemuria doesn't use resources at all, unless recruiting independents. So if you need more points, you could always put that down. I tend to avoid it because it tends to create more bad events. I don't have any empirical evidence of that, it's just what I've kind of observed. We want to go up to extra research points. I believe that also increases magic penetration, which would be bad if the enemy spam a lot of banishments. But I believe the extra research is for more important, because Lemuria definitely has a real problem with research in the early game. And as far as heat and cold, either is good. You don't need to worry about either way. It's points for the taking. You might think that cold is a good idea. Yeah, he's got a chill aura. I believe a lot of units have a chill aura as well. I actually have been playing with heat because this is a strategic map thing. On the map, if you've got hot scales in 2 provinces, that will mean rivers are unpassable, the rivers between the 2 provinces, but all of our troops are amphibious, so we can get across anyway. And having heat will open up mountain passes to me. So I've found that, I mean, you could go either way. I just like using heat just for a bit of a strategic advantage on the map. Dominion, minimum of 6, that's... Well, actually, Dominion stuff's changed in the current patch, and I don't exactly remember how the formula for Dominion spread has changed. I don't remember what it changed to, and I haven't even had a game since the patch came out. So this is all new to me. But 6 used to be the bare minimum you'd ever want, and we'll stick to it. Magic paths. I'm going to go with a bit of a rainbow pretender here. Again, you can probably do it more efficiently with a different pretender chassis. But again, I like the role-playing of the Ghost King. So, Astral 4, that gives us +1 magic resistance to our blessed troops, which is only our commanders, if they decide to bless themselves. We've got enough points for 2 everywhere else except blood. And this is with the re-pointing, this 64 points. When I was playing with this yesterday, or whenever it was, that was basically all you had points for. So, with these extra points, I might chuck that up. Dominion, it takes to 5. Yeah, that actually looks pretty good to me. So, we will call you Ambi... I can't spell sinister. That is a real word. Look it up. It's hilarious. Let's see. We'll put the sight frequency up. I will enable the score graphs because I will want to see how I'm doing against the enemy. I think I will enable story events. I never have before, so I will. Thrones. We might put in a couple of extra thrones. Not that many. So 7, 8. We'll put that up to, you need 6 to win. So 5. Yeah, that'll do. I may even end up restarting this campaign if things go horribly, horribly wrong. It's, as I said, it's a learning. Learning by defeat is probably just as useful as learning by victory. So, let's get into it. Now, I have read a few strategy guides on the Desura forums, but experience is the best teacher, so I figured I'd actually have a go and see what works for me. Yes, we know all that, that's fine. Right, we start off right next to a throne as it is. We've got quite a bit of ocean on this. Anyway, who are we fighting? Is that Tianchi? Yes. That is Satis, and that is, I don't know, Utgard. They prefer cold scale 1. That's very useful for me. I think they prefer heat scale though. Yeah. Slightly less good. And those guys are just humans. What did it... The face... Oh, face painted with bells. I thought it said face painted with balls. Anyway, this here is why we are going to need an Awake Pretender with Death 3. If I go to recruit units... Not a sausage. Lemuria's troops come... They're all Freespawn. In a province with a fortification, we get Legionnaires. In other ones, just an empty province, I believe you get Dispossessed Spirits, you might get the occasional Shadow. With a temple, I think you can also get... I can't call them with you, can I? I can't remember what they're called, but they're sort of plague zombie things that have disease. Apparitions, that might be it. Anyway, so this is our starting lineup. We have a Centurion, who is just sort of the same as an Ermorian Centurion, except he's ethereal, and of course dead. Causes fear, which is very handy. And we get a level 1 Priest, a Shadow Tribune. Yeah, can't really do any damage. So, in order to get our commanders, we actually have to summon them. These are all spells that we know right from the start. Unfortunately, they're actually quite expensive. A Grand Lemur is 50 death gems, and I'll just add, as amusing as the thought is of a lemur, those cute little monkey rat things from the movie Madagascar, lemur is, and I apologise if in advance if I butcher the pronunciation of this, Lemuries were the restless spirits of the unquiet dead in Roman folklore. So that is where the name Lemuria comes from. In any case, what we're going to do to start with, we're going to put you on research. We have 44 research, and we are going to go, I believe I want enchantment level 3 for Revenants. That is what we need. We're going to wait one turn at least, so we'll just do that. No, we're already getting expect, and we get a very bad event. Not that really matters particularly. Our income is going to be atrociously bad at the best of times because our Dominion kills population. Starts off at 1830. Just keep your eye on that. Next turn it'll be terrible. Now we got a whole bunch of Freespawn here. So we've got 30 units. What can we take out? 20, 30, 50. Probably not very much. What we'll do is we'll attack there. We'll set you to... You don't really do very much. You can bless yourself, I guess. Problem here is, of course, blessing and power, protection, blessing, power, blessing. They've all got the same name, but they're different levels. Power gives extra speed and attack skill. Blessing does the protection, obviously. Protection gives you magic resistance, I think. Yes. And Unholy Command takes control of an enemy undead. Anathema is useful if your opponent has a lot of sacred troops and you spam a lot of priests. You can take control of their sacreds, which is quite amusing. Apostasy is the same thing. Oh, no, sorry. Anathema is a curse. Apostasy is the one I was thinking of. That's the one that takes control of enemy sacreds. Which is extremely amusing. Protection of the Shadelands. That gives you a lot of magic resistance. The only problem with that is, unlike the lower forms, your magic resistance negates this one. I don't know why, it just does. Oops. And Power of the Shadelands is the battlefield wire that gives everyone movement speed and attack skill, but you need to be a level 4 priest for that. So you can just cast spells, whatever you think you need to cast. What's the range on? 15? Yeah. Alright, we'll let you start buffing them. You're not sacred? No, you're not sacred. You can cast spells. And that's pretty much all we can do for the start. So we got to 1 level. A few turns before we get up. Tianchi has a prophet, and there's a battle. We'll have a look at this one. I probably won't look at all of these battles. But all these guys are ethereal. So he's getting unholy power. Did he hit anyone? It's a bit hard to tell. I don't think he did. At least not them. And despite being told to stay behind the troops, you're charging forwards. As always. Ethereal, these guys, you'll notice, 0 protection. Ethereal, I think it negates something like 3/4 of all hits or something like that from non-magic weapons. Of course, if you come up against magic weapons, you're in a lot of trouble. And from my personal experience, being ethereal doesn't really protect you all that much anyway. And my Centurion has just charged right into the thick of the enemy all by himself. At least he has some decent protection as well, so he's actually hard to kill. The benefit of these guys is they do all have magic damage. I'm not exactly sure what magic resist negates does as a weapon. Does that mean you roll damage against their protection and then again against their magic resistance, or does it ignore protection and only go against their resistance? I do not know. Seem to be doing pretty reasonable damage, with their magic resistance is only 10, but they've got reasonable protection. And someone up here is banishing me. That's why you need that spell. Did they? No, not him. I think he got Unholy Power, did it? The Unholy Protection... I don't know if that's hitting anyone. Might have hit you. Yeah, magic bonus +4. That helps against banishments. And so the anti-magic spell will be a future goal of mine. Anyway, we still lost 6 troops. In terms of province defense, I always put 1. Generally not worth bothering with any more than that as Lemuria, because your population will die. See, we lost about 200 or something in the last turn. The population will die, the province defense will end up being not very much. And you got diseased. Yeah, big whoop. That doesn't affect undead. You're in the Hall of Fame. You've got increased protection. Hey, there we go. And we've already got 1 dispossessed spirit. The main reason to put 1 into your province defense is for this guy, your acolyte, that you get for free, because you need an undead commander to control all these Freespawn that appear. If you don't, then whenever the enemy attacks that province, all your Freespawn will just run away. So, that's always useful. We only got 2. We did get a Freespawn commander here. Okay. I'm not 100% sure, but I think the higher your dominion, the more Freespawn you get. I might just drop down here. I've only got 45 gems, so Battle in the Misty Forest. Yes, we only lost one troop that time, that's good. So again, we'll put our 1 PD there. How much does it cost to build a temple? 400. I do want to build a lot of temples. I also need to build a lot of forts. We're not getting that many Freespawn there at the moment. So, did any more appear here? Yeah, one more. 20 enemy. Alright. I now have 60. This is, well, I'll have a 1-turn break in getting my research, and I will summon a Grand Lemur. In the meantime, you guys go up here. We've got 2 Freespawn thingies. You go here, and we'll check that. There's only 20 in there. And yeah, I should be able to take that. Right. I haven't really looked into profits much, to be honest. Right, we beat that without loss. Unexpected event, defense plus 20. Well, yeah, but that's probably going to end up mostly dying. I mean, it's very useful. It was free, so I won't object particularly. But it's, yeah. 60. Light infantries, militias and heavy infantries. No, not outnumbered 2 to 1. I don't think I can take them. Back here, he got an air random. I believe they are 3 holy, 3 death, 2 astral, and 1 random. That's 100% of 1 of death, astral, air, or water. Anyway, the reason I did that will become apparent later. This guy, once I get to research enchantment 3, well, I'll keep going and see if I can get there in this episode and show you. So that's level 2. We've probably got 3 turns left. I might actually put the province names up, because I find that helps. I'll put defense in there. Ah, now it's much better. Now we got heaps. Now these standard bearers are very useful. They don't give you the standard ability, which is +1 morale. Instead they have fear, which is surprisingly useful. Sometimes it might even be worth putting them in their own group. But I'll just leave them there. That's fine. Right, 65 of them should be able to take out some good stuff. So, what do I want to go for, that first or that first? I'll go up here. There's only 40 in there. These guys, well, I suppose I can move him there as a temple builder. I've got a bit of money, I guess. And you two are still researching. Battle, we won that quite handily. Unexpected event, misfortune +3. That's not so useful, but it still has 2 luck anyway, so that's fine. That 40 enemy units, archers, militias, heavy infantries. I think we can take that. We've got 61. As long as there's no surprises in there. And now we're starting to get... Oh, and he actually free spawns ghosts, which are not terrible in numbers. They're not that useful in lower numbers. Now, I can show you this. Level 3 priest can call the spirits. He can also call shade beasts and apparitions. So they are apparitions, the one I was thinking of before. Shade beasts are okay in numbers. Dispossessed spirits are crap. Shadows are slightly less crappy crap. Shade beasts are okay. These are terrible because they can't actually kill anyone. They're only useful as a supporting troop. because they can paralyse the enemy and make them easy to kill, but it's been my experience that the paralysation doesn't really last all that long, and these guys just die in droves, so I don't ever bother summoning them. You can get them as free spawn if you really need them. Shade Beasts I like. If you can get a large group of them and sit them in the flank. You can also, there are spells to summon, I think, all of these. But obviously Lemuria can get them for free. Apparitions I haven't ever really used. I believe they're like soulless, pretty crappy troops, but they do have disease, so I guess they can be okay. 90 research left. You can build a... Do I want to save my money for that? I probably do, actually. I guess if you really wanted, you could get your free spawns in every province and just call spirits. It's free, but it's just not really worth very much. Anyway, let's end the turn here. Alright, this is the Battle for a Throne province. So, with your blessing, magic resistance +1 and undying +5. Do they normally have 1? I don't think so. Maybe I'm in a... not sure. I don't know if Dominion affects them. Let's go a bit quicker. Taking a little bit of damage from things, but not heaps. I'm tipping this is only the level 1 throne. There's not enough defenders on it to be the level 2. Alright, make them run. For having a limp, he's keeping up pretty well. Zero encumbrance is good, means they won't fatigue. They do, however, have a morale value. It's quite high, and I'm in friendly dominion. So why he only had 6 hit points, I'm not sure. But they can break. That's something to remember. They're not like Ashen Empire, which won't break. These guys can run, and I've seen it happen. So we lost 5 troops. And we now have this. Now this... I can't afford a fort at the moment, can I? Not even the cheapest one. So you guys might sit there. What have we got here? These Freespawn are actually fairly good commanders. They can command 80. They've got +1 leadership for 3 squads. Which is actually not terrible, considering that they're basically a level 1 priest. Nonetheless, we next want to go into, I think... possibly even... Look, after enchantment, it's... Conjuration gets you a lot of summons, evocation for a few... You want to get up to level 3 here for Shadow Bolt, which is a basic... perhaps the only basic battlefield spell we can get. Construction's always good. Keep going in enchantment for anti-magic, which is something I'll need. But I'll probably need construction before I get to that anyway. So what I might do is put... Actually, before I do that... How much do I have if you are just defending? Not enough. Alright, well you can keep researching for this turn. And we'll put that. Alright. And we want some money so I can build a fort there. Right, research enchantment is completed. Someone's claimed Throne of Night. Unexpected event, gold, plus 850. How very timely! It's my population down to 510 here. You can build a citadel. You can build a temple. And we can chuck the rest into province defence. That certainly uses all my gold, but you've only got 28. In any case, now that we've done that, right, the reason I got this guy here is he can now do my level 3 summons. So he is going to go for a monthly create Revenant. A Revenant is this cost me 9 death gems. The equivalent at Lima Acolyte cost me 15 death gems for a level 1 death and level 1 priest, I think he is. A Revenant is only level 1 death, but for pure research mages and nothing else, they're a bit better than 2/3 more. You know, they cost slightly less than 2/3. So far more efficient. You're going to go up there to claim that throne. What throne is it? The Throne of Flames. Blessed troops get fire resistance, spreads dominion, reduces 2 fire gems. Alright. Cast Revenant. Unfortunately, these summons don't automatically go into research. That would be very nice if they did, but they don't. Now, since we're getting 15 a month from the Campus Scalaris, he can keep doing that monthly. It costs 9 and we'll still get a profit of 6 every month. That's basically how we get Lemuria into the research game. They have 7 basically, but I got a magic scales of +3. And once we've done that, that's pretty much all we can do for research. As you can see, research is kind of slow. If you've got a super combatant early expander pretender, then you won't be doing any researching. I mean, you've got to wait 3 turns just for enough to summon him. So your choice of that is basically wait maybe 1 turn, summon an acolyte, and then you get like 10 research a turn, or 7 base, and without much chance of increasing it. So early game research for Lemuria is tricky. He now is going to basically just go around site searching. That's why he's got level 2 on most things. I should get a decent gem income. I can alchemize most of them. 6 turns left. I haven't come across anyone else yet. I've got a second expansion army on the way. In fact, that's probably enough. Oh, maybe not. I might wait 1 more turn for that. But I'm running out of time in this episode, and well, I got the start game done. He's basically there to summon what needs to be summoned. As level 3, he can summon all my commanders. It will get to the point he'll probably actually summon in fact, I might do that now. If you summon just a regular Thaumaturg, they are the level 2 guys. The level 2 Thaumaturg will go on to summoning duties. This guy is then free to join an army for magic support, summon spirits, do whatever needs to be done, research. He can also probably summon the senator or the consul, whichever one it is, who's the main leader, the equivalent of the legatus from early age. But anyway, that is my early game. I think I'm doing fairly slow in terms of expansion right now. Which one's mine? Oh, I'm actually up the top. That surprises me. It truly does. I would normally think, especially since I increased their difficulty, that they would be going better than this, but doesn't matter. That's all I have time for this episode, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you learned something, even if that was what not to do. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.